We're live, baby.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, baby, yeah. I got the
Good to be back.
DFFOO music. Got the DFFOO music playing. I'm here.
In the zone.
Yeah, I'm fully here.
That's good. Gotta be present for these sorts of things, right?
Yeah, I reacquainted myself with the game. Let me ask you something. Is Garland wearing earrings in the main home screen?
Like
Is that not a earring hanging down?
I never took a look at that. That's a great question.
I think he's wearing an earring.
I mean,
Yay.
you know, fashionable.
Honshu, Trevoid, you're here. We're here. Just like we promised. Oh damn, Belial's back in TCC General. Phenomenal. Anytime I get a Belial sighting, I'm incredibly excited.
As you should be.
Raw, you can't hear me very well. Well, that's because I have a puppy and it's screaming bloody murder, and I don't want to turn my mic up too loud, and then you hear the baby screaming. Livestream COD fight today? Yeah, I gotta do the Onion Knight ticket mission, so I'll put Onion Knight on the bench and never use him, and I'll take 30 minutes of the stream to do Gladio. Who did I use? I used somebody. We'll get into it, but I used a team that essentially cannot die. It's just a matter of time and patience.
Best player in the game.
That's right. I did it while I watched The Last of Us.
Heard that was good.
Did you play the game?
Little bit of it. Very little bit of it. Didn't get a chance to get very far. Enough to know it was really good.
Oh, it's good. It's very good.
I refuse to watch it. They woke washed it.
Oh no. They didn't
Because Pedro Pascal is the main?
Yeah, they made Joel Mexican and they made Ellie ugly.
What would be woke washing since she's already lesbian? What will they make her?
She's ugly now. It's like, you know how people say fat is an oppressed minority now? Now ugly is too. That's what they're trying to throw in there.
That is that little girl is the queen of Bear Island.
face shaming? Is that what we're gonna call this?
They're
What's
saying they
Bear
can't see
Island?
anything. Bear Island in Game of Thrones. They're saying they can't see anything. Can see now? You should be able to see.
I mean, it looks like the pre-show screen to me.
Yeah, we see splash screen. It should be the splash screen. We're not started yet. We just...
Jesus, we do one off stream where we go to Gotham and everyone forgets how the live stream works here.
Yeah, this is the pre-show. Yeah, it is the pre-show screen. It's what it should be. We're game. I don't know how to play the game, so we're going to leave it on here for a while. We're still getting... It's only 7:30. Oh, 7:39.
Dang, time flies. When you're talking about The Last of Us.
When you're having The Last of Us. It is woke washed, though. That's for sure, but you know me.
Every iteration gets more and more woke washed. That's why they keep re-releasing it.
So I guess you're not going to watch Velma.
I don't know. It doesn't look that interesting. I'll take a look, but
No, I don't think I'm going to watch Velma. They took Scooby-Doo out of Scooby-Doo. I mean, all the
they
other
took
shit...
they took Shaggy out of Scooby-Doo. That's not Shaggy at all. Like, I've seen clips already. Like, it's a completely different character. I have no idea why they like take these properties and then keep nothing from the original.
Well, at least they have like a proxy for Shaggy. There is no Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo is just gone. He just...
I know.
There's no dog.
He's the main character. His name's in the title. How can you do this? It's gonna be like that live-action movie. Scooby's gonna be the villain after all.
Wait, was Scooby the villain in the live action?
No, in the live-action movie, it was Scrappy Doo.
That was a very good twist. That After an entire.
Did you really like that twist? Because that was not a very beloved twist.
Well, you have to
Spoilers.
understand, the whole movie, I was like, this is kind of dumb, and I'm not really enjoying myself. And then they did that, and I was like, okay. Like maybe I was desensitized or something, but by the time that happened, I was like, okay, fine. I'll give you that. That was cute.
The girl who plays what's her name in that? Both the girls are hot as shit. Actually, Velma is.
Yeah.
Is
The
Aunt May.
Velma actress is no,
May.
she's not Aunt May. No, she's not Aunt May.
Yes, she
She's,
is. She's the new
no.
Aunt May.
No. She's the actress from Freaks and Geeks. She plays Hawkeye's wife right now.
Oh yeah, what is her name? It's not the one I was thinking of. What is Aunt May's name? Marisa Tomei. It's not Marisa Tomei, but it's a girl. It's that lady who looks just like her.
Who you're asking who play? Oh, Marisa Tomei is. You're talking about who's the Velma actress now.
Yeah, who is Scooby Doo Velma? Live
And
action.
I always
So
forget the
fine.
name. Linda Cardellini. There you go.
Oh yeah, dude.
She's so attractive. One of my big celebrity crushes. Ever since
Lord.
like back in Freaks and Geeks too. That was like what 20-something years ago. She was like so hot.
Yeah, and then not Velma. The other one, Daphne, is fucking Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So.
Wait, is it really?
Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, yeah.
MFVII with the sub. Sub for 8 months. MF, how you liking your
What's up?
How you liking your what did you win? MF, if you could remind us in chat, you won some like bottle caps or something.
The magnets, yeah.
The magnets. MF, did you get your magnets? Do you like your magnets? Where are they hanging? Update us on the magnets. Yoshi Pasta said it has a lower rating than the DBZ live. Ooh. Velma has a lower rating than DBZ.
No, I think he means a live-action Scooby-Doo, right?
Live-action Scooby-Doo was, I don't know, that was better than...
Everyone watched it for Linda Cardellini's Velma, and every time you Google Velma, she comes up a lot. She made, like, the best Velma, for sure.
Yeah. I'm a big Linda Cardellini fan. I just thought it was Marisa Tomei, but whatever. Do I have the song, Blart? Is the song available to me? I can't do the Christmas song anymore.
Please tell me you still have the song. I haven't taken it. I haven't moved it. It's still there.
Listen first. There it is.
Yep, there it is.
Pinned
Pinned
from
at the
a
top.
year ago. We've been rocking with this one for a year?
When you say a year ago, you mean last year, right? Like 2022?
No, it was January 31st, 2022.
No, hold on. Jesus.
I think this is it.
Some girl.
Oh, no, that's the one that has some girl on it. Shout out So Maggie. That's not the right one. But shout out So Maggie anyway.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna do hashtag listen
check your
first.
DMs. Check your DMs.
I did. But now when I type in hashtag listen first, it should come up. Yep, there it is. Good. All right, folks, we got a lot of shit to get through tonight. Are you hydrated and you know, bladder's emptied, and are we ready to rock? Because we got some. No one else is doing this, okay? No one else is dragging the community, their dead body of the community, across the finish line like we are. So you got to be ready. Are you guys ready for this?
As ready as I'm gonna be. I'm glad that MF's redeeming posture check, because I was slouchy and oh man, that was a bad idea.
Hydrate. I'm gonna drink some more beer.
Old. This sucks.
I'm gonna drink some more beer. All right, I'm turning the volume down, and I'm gonna start. I don't know if you guys can hear my dog. I got a puppy. We'll talk about this on the how you been doing section, but my dog is just utterly screaming. I'm gonna mute myself actually. You ready? 3, 2.
And now it's time to start the show with Raw Life, Bl'Artagnan, and Leaf. This is the Lifestream.
Yeah, this is the live stream. Oh my god, my dirty clothes basket is behind me. This is the live stream. Welcome, one and all. We've got a lot of content to get through tonight. We promised we weren't fucking leaving, and we're not fucking leaving. We may take a week off to play Batman. Lots of chats right now about Leafblade Mouse. Where's Leafblade? Leafblade Mouse is out of the office. He's got his out of office emails turned on. We will see him again. We will not see him tonight, but Leafblade is taking a well-deserved a PTO day, and his out of office is on. So if you need him, you can email at Blart or at Raw Life if you need to get in touch with someone. My game is of course not showing. So last week was a Batman stream. You guys hung out with Blart and Tree Void and Blind Eye while we did some Batman stuff. But this week we're getting back to the business. Back to the business at hand. And I'm not by myself. I'm joined by, as always, Bl'Artagnan. How you doing, Bl'Artagnan?
Hey, I'm doing all right, Raw. It's pretty hectic times. We are finally moving to our new house this week, and so basically everything I own except for this computer is packed up into boxes all over the house, and it's all coming together. So that's kind of cool. 2023 is off to a very stressful start, but one of those exciting stressful starts. But I'm doing all right there.
Moving into a new house. Wow,
yeah.
Let's get a round of applause in chat. It's hard to buy a house right now. So shout out Bl'Artagnan and Lady Bl'Artagnan, Miss Bl'Artagnan, and Baby Blart for the new house. Let's get some congrats in chat.
The deal, yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it, guys. It's feeling good. So we're pretty pumped about that.
We have a special guest. We have a special guest as well, Bart. Who has joined us to guide the community through this dark time? Who's with us?
Well, someone who's no stranger to guiding the community. We have luminary himself, Mino Spelgud. Mino, how you doing, man? It's been a little while since we had you on here.
Hey guys, I'm shocked every week that I look into this channel and I see people doing a show. I don't know how you guys haven't given up yet. Why are you laughing? I'm serious. Every other show is dead. Every other show is dead right now.
We're being very careful. We're just not overdoing it. Every now and then you need a Batman stream, so you do a Batman stream. That's how we're doing it. What are you gonna say, Blart?
Oh no, it was basically what you said. You know, a combination of stubbornness and pacing ourselves.
Yeah. Before we start, though, I do got to talk to Mino. Mino, have you been playing the game at all? Because Blart's up to date. Blart is a shout out Blart's YouTube, 1,000 subs, big time YouTuber here. He is keeping up. He's leading the community through these dark times, and I am barely hanging on. So I don't know what's going on in the game. How up to date, fight-wise and character-wise? Probably should have done this before the show, but you know, fuck it, we'll do it live. How up to date are you? How up to date are you, Mino?
I did finish the COD fight, but I don't remember when it released. It took me a long time because I think these days, so like I'll boot up the Shinryu, and then I'll run it once, and if it doesn't work, that's my game time for the day, right? And then tomorrow when I'm on the toilet, I'll boot the game up again and give it another shot. If it doesn't work, that's another day, right? So the COD fight gave me like a week's worth of entertainment, I'm not gonna lie. So I think it was a very good fight.
Sounds like you're caught up though. Is that the last fight, Mark?
Yeah,
I think so.
The most recent fight, yeah.
We're gonna be leaning.
Well, that's because we had like nothing for like a week, right?
That was why I did the Batman stream. Was I was like, okay, we could talk about Beatrix and Rydia again, like a week after they came out, but like, there's nothing to do until the 6-man comes out. So I was like, heck with it. We'll go to go.
Yeah, is there even something tonight, or is it just like a co-op?
We don't know, right?
We don't know. The speculation that I've heard is that it's going to kind of ape the what JP did around this time is they reran a bunch of older FRs. I think it was Cam, Kane, Luna, and Charlotta. And so, and we've had kind of events like that in the past where they'll like either time travel as a fight or give us a little GL first exclusive fight, which I'm kind of hoping for, along with some some reruns.
Oh, you know what? Let's put money on it. I'm fully convinced at this point. I said this on the last TCC show, which is who know how long that's been, like 2 months or something. But I am fully betting no GL first whatsoever. Maybe they'll throw us a character at the anniversary, but like I'm fully convinced they've given up. They have not shaken up the schedule in months.
We're gonna throw a poll out there real quick, Bart, before you go. I'm gonna say is there gonna be a Shinryu, because there's some discussion in chat. Treevoid seems to be confident, so let's see if he'll do a if he'll put his money where his mouth is. What's it called if it's not a poll? A bet?
Prediction is what you're looking for.
Okay, so we're gonna do a prediction. It's gonna be, will there be a Shinryu tonight with the event? Yes or no?
Wait, was there a Shinryu in JP? It'll just mirror whatever JP had.
I think that I don't actually know the answer. I'm gonna. My gut's telling me it was probably one of the, you know how JP does those campaign banners where it's just a banner, and I think in GL they kind of started adding fights like Lena or whatever, but I don't think JP started getting those. But I don't play JP and haven't been paying attention beyond like very the kind of whisper in the wind type stuff, so I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like you're probably right about not getting a fight here, but I'm going to stay optimistic and kind of cross my fingers for one. I want to say I didn't catch the last Squeck stream, but I thought I heard people saying that Josh did say we were getting some kind of GL exclusive thing for anniversary.
Oh yeah, he did. He's I didn't watch it either. Well, actually I did. It was just in the background, but I know there was apparently a strong implication that yes, we're gonna get some sort of GL first for anniversary.
But
Speaking of which,
anniversary, right? This is just
right.
No,
Correct. So I'm saying like from like anniversary, we might expect something new, but for like months and months and months at this point, we haven't gotten nothing. No like time travelers, no switch ups, no celebrations. Hell, you know what? I want to ask this because I don't fucking check the game anymore. I'm hoping Blart knows this, but if you remember, this time last year in JP, there was an insane New Year's bundle, and like we had those in the previous New Year's, if you remember. Like there was like an insane New Year's sale with like a lot of exclusive stuff. Did we get one this year?
I don't think so. I don't
think so. I don't fucking think we did. I don't even think JP did. I really like, and the worst thing is, if we're a year behind, if you're counting that, we should have gotten a huge thing. I could look up like last year's JP new universe, but like it came with like a ton of like BT ingots and like FR enhancement stuff. So, like they usually bundle the shit out of that, and we got nothing this year because why put effort into a dying game? I don't know. Like I really think they've full on given up, 100%.
Yeah, it feels pretty sleepy. Xcal's mentioning we got a weapon gloss. Poto's mentioning that JP got the 50+1 multi-draw. I don't know if that's something we can expect for anniversary or something like that. I don't know, who knows. That feels like an easy kind of bone to throw at people, but I don't know if they'll bother doing that, because like you said, it does kind of feel pretty sleepy around these parts.
We're gonna know real soon if we get nothing for anniversary whatsoever. The game is dead. The game's dead, and I'm quitting. And I lied to everyone when I said I would. But we'll get something.
I mean, for the anniversary itself, we'll get something, but like the countdown, we'll see. I'm hoping it's not just another crummy co-op event, because I feel like we just had one of those where it was just a boring like Lufania co-op, and it was like there's nothing with it. I want to say, I mean, the game is in a much different state than it was last time this happened, but I feel like I remember before Core was announced, the like 2 or 3 months leading up to that, it was a similar feeling like, man, there's been like nothing for ages, and they've been phoning it in. They're willing to shake things up, and then they kind of surprised us with Core. I don't know if I'm quite feeling confident enough to say like, oh yeah, they're gonna do it this time. Like that's what they're doing. But if they're not gonna do it for anniversary, I don't know when they're going to do another shakeup. So fingers
like
crossed.
Usually you can they try to do things a lot. You'll remember how many things that were unpopular in JP, like the first 6-man and the Arden raid, that they like reduced for us. They're like, oh, this didn't get good feedback in JP, so you only have to do like 1/5 of the Arden raids, or oh, we just removed the Lael 6-man. This final chapter thing where you have to do these fucking raids that people fucking hated, they didn't touch that at all. Like there's no more sign that there is a GL dev side at this point. I feel like they've already like laid them off. I don't think we're getting any more like Abysses or like Equinoxes or any GL exclusive stuff. Like God is dead.
We are getting a little ahead of ourselves, though, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right, folks. Let's get through the monotony that we missed out on, and then we'll get to anniversary anticipation and all that. Last week we didn't do DFFOO, so we got to go through a couple things. First thing is this fight that I'm doing. I'm doing the ticket mission right now because I just want the tickets, bonus tickets. But we'll go through the whole thing. This event came out. Lightning got her rework, right? I have nothing to say. I don't have a green Lightning. I don't have a blue Lightning. If you're still on the Lightning train, good on you, man. But do either one of you guys, we'll start with Mino, you have any thoughts on Lightning's rework?
No.
No. Me either.
Yeah, basically, these days, if you don't come with an FR, if you're coming with rework, you're not really worth talking about. There are a couple corner cases, Young and Gladio spring to mind, but for the most part, it's like nothing. I will say, one thing I will just say about Lightning is, I thought it was really funny that they buffed her Brave Damage Party Aura, because that was a thing, you know? So, I had completely forgotten that they gave Lightning Party Auras on her LD, because that was a thing, and so now she has better Party Auras. Great, more Brave damage. So that's one. I mean, it actually looks like a perfectly good rework in a world where you don't need an FR to be viable. But so it's a rough day to be a Theologica fan. Sorry, guys.
Shout out Theologica.
Yeah, shout out Theologica.
Yeah, she got her rework. If you want to use her, you've been using her. It's easier to use her now. Congratulations. But the main thing was Beatrix FR. We're showcasing that here. I think my Beatrix FR is maxed out. And we got the Soul Cage fight with 2 Soul Cages this time. Phenomenal. Blart, I'll start with you this time. Did you pull for Beatrix? And how you like it?
Oh yeah, no, I pulled for Beatrix. I mean, I've just been a huge Beatrix fan basically since she dropped in the game, because she's kind of a badass character and has been really strong in every iteration. I think the one time she hasn't been just tremendous was her LD release, and even then she was quite good. She just had kind of a pedigree of being broken, and so it was a step down from broken to just good, and it was like, yeah.
She was still usable at the time, right? I mean, she was still kind of usable.
Yeah.
So like the LD came out.
Yeah, more than usable. She was really quite good. And then I mean, then they LD boards and C90 have just been great, and she's just been kicking butt. And now with this FR has really kind of brought her to the next level beyond that, which is pretty cool, because now in addition to just being a good unit who fits a lot of roles, checks a lot of boxes, I would almost say she's one of those units like Young or Gladio, who, even if she didn't come with an FR, this would have been a unit where being like, oh cool, she got a rework, she's better and worth using now. But she got an FR, and I think it's a pretty neat FR kind of in the broader context of the game, because it's kind of one of those generalist FRs in a sense, but it does require setup. It's kind of weird. Like, it works with any team provided you can get Fit Lightning Enchant somewhere on the team, Thunder Enchant somewhere on the team. Because beyond that need, it's self-sufficient, and Thunder Enchant's pretty common, but it does require that Thunder Enchant. So it's like self-sufficient, but not. Works with most characters, and unlike most generic FRs we get, we're talking our Ursulas, our Irohas, our Leuds, our even our Vidias to an extent. Generic works with anyone type FRs. Beatrix's FR, usually they come with an okay, mediocre character. No one is really bringing Iroha because, oh yeah, Iroha's a really good character. They're bringing her because her FR is pretty decent. No one's bringing Ursula because, oh yeah, Ursula's great. Shout out to some girl there. But Beatrix is actually a good character, on top of having a good kind of FR that kind of fits everywhere. And how's your dog doing, Raw?
So I guess we should mention that because our gracious co-host brought it up. I've got a new puppy, new little baby puppy. It's a blue tick coonhound. His name is Lincoln. He's a beautiful, sweet baby. He does not like his kennel. We kennel train. I think everyone should always kennel train their dogs. You don't leave them in there for long, but if you kennel train them, they this is him. This Duncan. Alright. Oh my god, I said Duncan. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
Shout out to Duncan, mascot of Lifestream. Now
this is Lincoln. He is currently losing his fucking mind because he hates his kennel. But it's if you've ever kennel trained a dog, you know the first week is a miserable shit fest of whining and barking and crying. Eventually, they learn that it's their safe, happy place, and they like to go in there. But he is not there yet. So if you hear a dog barking, just let me know. And I'm not going to do anything about it, but just good. It'll be good to know.
Lincoln is now the new mascot of the Lifestream.
That's right. Beatrix, one thing I have to ask, we'll go to Mino, but she doesn't enchant the thunder? Her FR needs the thunder enchant. Why does she not enchant the thunder?
So this isn't the first time we've seen this, because we've got guys like Braska and Enna Crow who have been like, oh, you need to bring the element, but I'm not going to help you get it. And every time it shows up, I don't think Desh.
No, Desh doesn't.
Desh enchants. It is kind of like a little bit of a. It's definitely a detriment. It's a downside. It's a weakness. It is just kind of worse, which is why, for instance, on Braska's BT they give him Fire Enchant because it's like kind of dumb. So for Beatrix, it is straight up just a weakness. Is you need to build Thunder from somewhere in the party because she doesn't bring it. That said, the FR, on activation it dispels. It dispels, and it basically works with pretty much anyone provided you can enchant them with Thunder. The thing with Beatrix that I think sets her apart from those other cases is Thunder is super easy to come by. Like with Braska, if you want to Fire Enchant, you need to use Lulu, or I guess technically Ignis for 2 turns. With Enna Crow, if you want to use her FR, you need to use Zande Call, I think is the only way to Dark Enchant, or something goofy like that. For Beatrix, you have You have Cryol Call, you have Ash Call, you have Garnet Call, you have running any of those 3 units in the party, along with running any of the various other Thunder, Raijin, Dash, running actual Thunder units, like you can run Lightning, enter Synergistic, but just that's an example. So there's a lot of different ways to get Thunder into the party, and even if you don't, I think the bonus is 5%, so a lot of the bulk of the bonuses you're getting is from Beatrix dealing Thunder damage, or from the party having buffs, so you're only getting kind of incremental bonus even if you really stubbornly don't put Thunder on the party through calls or whatnot. Also, 2 of those calls I mentioned are 6 turns, and the other is an EX-based call for the last 10 turns, so it's really not hard to fit that into the team. That said, it's still, again, it is worse than just the FR enchant Thunder, like Yuri or an actual, sleek FR like that.
The only problem I have with Beatrix is her FR partner. It makes no sense. Why the fuck is Snow in here bringing her FR down? That dude is a nerd. He sucks. I hate him. Why is he in there? Mino, you're the specialist for FRs. Could you give me a matchup reasoning for Snow Beatrix?
Aren't they both peerless heroes?
Is Snow peerless? I thought he was just a fucking dude. I didn't play the game.
I thought he was Then why'd you say he was annoying if you didn't even play the game?
Because I hate him. From watching Goose play it. From watching Goose play it, he just seems like a huge bro. I hate bro dudes. He's a big
Goose
bro
never
dude.
even finished the game. Also, you're a bro dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I hate other bro dudes.
Self-loathing.
He seems totally like the guy who would be raw life and be straight edge and
How did you know I was straight edge?
You just drink raw life and be a fucking douche this. Are you kidding me? He completely matches that in me.
How did Mino know that I used to be straight edge? I got the tattoo.
I'm not talking about Snow. I'm talking about Snow.
I was straight edge for 10 years, but so that's the reasoning. That your reasoning is they were both peerless heroes, undefeatable.
Yeah, aren't they like paladins? They're heroes of justice.
Someone who played the game, let us know, because I don't know.
They're the greatest good in their games.
I want to say that's what Snow's supposed to. I haven't played it, but everyone I've talked who mentions him implies that he's a huge goober.
Yeah, Beatrix is the opposite of a goober. Beatrix is unbelievably. Both have nice racks. Okay, thank you, Indo. Nice tits and rack. It just Beatrix is so like professional and like focused, and Snow just seems like a huge d-bag. So I don't like it.
Didn't Beatrix lose her eye to Steiner or something?
That did happen.
That is the that is not canonically proven, but it is believed heavily.
Is it not? I'm gonna Google this. I'm pretty sure.
It's not 100%, but it is. It is. Here we go. We'll get back into Beatrix. I want to talk about this fucking fight because this fight is hard. I don't care what anybody says. I had a lot of people on Discord, Trevoid, for example, laughing at me and giggling and saying that I was doing a bit. I wasn't doing a bit. Explain to me how are you supposed to do this? These guys don't take Brave or HP damage. I gain Brave by hitting the enemy. When I hit the enemy, it gives me Brave, and then I dump that Brave and hurt them. Well, this fucking Soul Cage, they get Brave and HP shields at once. How are you supposed to go about that?
I want to shout out, I don't remember which episode it was, but the episode when X-Death BT came out where Rob refused to pull in green X-Death, because he would have been great here.
Is that all you got? You're just gonna...
No, just taking it in for a second. All right. So, these shields are actually really kind of fascinating because I had the same problem the first time. I was like, what the hell are you supposed to do with these things? And it turns out there are a few different, pretty fascinating ways to deal with them. Including Jack Garland, who I think is on banner. I'm pretty sure his negative Brave follow-up proc. Well, it's weird because you can't deal Brave damage to them, so I guess it doesn't work, doesn't it? But the way you deal with these guys...
Yeah, I agree. I think Jack sucks here.
No, that's a good point. I haven't actually used the guy. So the way...
Nobody used him in this fight. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. There are three different ways to deal with the shields here. One is what you're doing there with Kane, because he and Freya just kind of carry their Brave in the sky and don't dump it, and you can whittle them down slowly over the course of turns. The other way is, as I referenced, X-Death. Technically, his Brave gains can help deal with the shield, although he doesn't deal enough damage to solo them, basically. The way I found most effective to deal with the shields is just you alternate. It's a tactical thing. If you only push the shield on one of them and the other one doesn't have the shield, you can build Brave off the one who doesn't and apply that HP damage via AoE attacks to the one who does. There were actually, I saw a number of players who, once that was explained to them, it was like a kind of light bulb moment, and I thought it was a really cool design because it's been a while since the game has thrown like a real poser of a mechanical puzzle you have to kind of work your brain to solve, and I really liked how they applied it here.
Wait, so what are you supposed to do?
Alternate who you target so that your AoE damage is...
Don't they both get the shield sometimes?
No, it's all threshold based. So long as you're controlling the enemy HP and making sure only one is going below the threshold at a time, and breaking their shield before the other one gets to that threshold, then you never have to deal with double shield.
What if you only bring AoE attacks like I did?
Yeah.
I mean, you can still focus your damage. Just spend literally all of your targeting on the one dude.
All my attacks are split dumps.
Beatrix's follow-up isn't split dumps. Gungnir isn't split dumps. You didn't have to send...
Gungnir because he's on the floor.
You got the Charlotta's HP pluses if you want to use those for single target. Or, but here, this is kind of an avant-garde strategy. You build a better team.
I'm only doing this for
That's why you got to build a good team, so you only have to do it once.
Well, here's my thing. I get that the fight, there's ways to do it, but I had a horrible time with this game. I had a really, really bad time. I didn't like it. I couldn't figure out the shields. I don't like doing Brave gains. I think Brave gains is the wrong way to play the game. I think Brave gains is cheating.
Yeah, I think this fight promoted Brave gains. 100%. I think so.
For sure.
Yeah.
Raw, I can't hear you. Raw, can you get the mic closer to you? Is this loud enough? I'm trying to turn myself down so you can't hear the dog screaming and howling in the background.
You need push to talk.
I don't know how to do that.
It's
Eat
in
the
Discord.
mic roll.
Yeah, just eat the mic.
So, Mino, what did you do for this fight, if you remember? It sounds like you thought it was a little bit difficult, too, because I thought it was hard. I mean, obviously, I just used the team they wanted me to use and blew it up eventually, but, like, at first trying to do cute things with it, I couldn't do anything cute.
I don't remember what I did either. I do remember I couldn't figure out the shields. I even read the tips because the shields are so frustrating, and I feel like the tips were very vague. They just said that there's a brave shield and an HP shield.
Yeah, it didn't explain it very well. It wasn't until I actually had 3 teams I ran through this, and the third one is when I was like, oh, this is what I do to deal with it. The first 2, like, were I used Kane in the next death because I was like, this is the only way I can deal with these shields, and it got there. But eventually, yeah, it's not obvious. Like, that's they don't do a very good job of communicating how you're supposed to deal with it. Although it's kind of a, it's one of those things where once you know and like are doing it, oh, you're like, oh, okay, this is simple enough. But until you see it, it's not well communicated and it's not really intuitive because you're used to kind of pushing bosses at the same time. It's been a while since I want to say, was it the Kadaj camos, the first ones? I feel like we've had bosses where they're like, okay, only push one threshold at a time. But it's been a while since we've had a boss where the threshold mechanic matters that much, you know?
Well, this is gonna hurt. He's got 15k brave already. Ouch. Bummer.
Yeah. There's another funny component about their shield that I thought was really, really interesting. You're probably not gonna have to worry about it here, but they have a second threshold where after where like about 10% after they've generated the shield, they'll do an auto kill attack, or not an auto kill. It's like almost auto kill, functionally auto kill. Your run's basically dead. But because the shield is an HP shield, the auto kill attack only happens if they still have the shield when you get to it, and that's not going to happen because they have an HP shield. So the only way it can happen is if you do a big Enecro nuke style thing that just chunks them for like 15% of their HP at once and skips 2 thresholds. Which I kind of like that they put something in there to say no, you have to deal with the mechanic as opposed to just kind of ignoring the mechanic and skipping past it.
So they kind of tried to answer the JP players were being horrific, dirty cheats.
Yes.
They tried to answer that with this mechanic. I like that. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm kind of chunking this one down, like you said, Blart. Is this going to work now?
I believe in you. I think it will.
So we're going to get this guy to go. We're going to get A to go into a shield, while B isn't in a shield. So then we'll farm all our brave. Am I hearing you right? We're going to farm all our brave off of the guy who doesn't have a shield.
That's exactly right. You have it figured out here. So
I understand the fight now.
Yeah, the trick is to focus one at a time.
Poto wants to know if the strat that I created in Raw Pro, would it work? I think it would work, but you have to make sure you absolutely kill it. You have to kill it 100% before it ends. Well, actually,
for Enecro specifically, there is one thing that will make that more difficult. Because this is actually the last of the elemental lockout fights. We forgot to mention that. I want to say everything but Thunder is locked out. I don't think there's anything. I think it's just Thunder is the only thing you're allowed to use here. Something else I like about this fight design. This isn't. I don't know if this is everyone's kind of cup of tea for stuff, but I like fights where the fight teaches you not only like how to take advantage of the featured character's strengths, but they also kind of highlight some of the featured character's weaknesses and how you can work around them. So these guys throw out generic debuffs, and Beatrix's whole deal is, oh, you want buffs in the party, and she provides enough buffs to get by, but they're generic, and so they'll get pushed off by the debuffs if you don't bring other frame buffs to compensate. And I don't know if that was intentional. The boss has generic debuffs. That's nothing new, so maybe they just got lucky with the design, but I was like, oh, that's pretty decent. Nice. Well done, guys.
So it's a good fight. I mean, technically.
Yeah. And also, keep in mind, it's an intersecting wills fight. Like, we've talked before about how those tend to be kind of phoned in, so the fact that were talking about this as, this is a decent fight for an intersecting wills too. It's like, yeah, no, I'll take that. A lot of HP damage, take advantage to kind of showcase Beatrix's mitigation. Like, I think, as far as fights go, this is a kind of a breath of fresh air, because I didn't find it so overbearing and like toxic, and I was like, I didn't find myself hating myself going through the fight, but it was engaging and kind of fun to do. At least once you figure out the esoteric shield bullshit.
Yeah, the shield is oppressive.
That's a good way to describe it.
Double
I
shield.
think all I figured out from zero research, because fuck this game at this point, is the HP shield is smaller than the Brave shield. I'm pretty sure.
No, I think they're both 4 mil.
No, are they both?
I think they might be both 4 mil, but I do know that every time every configuration I tried, the HP shield got broken before the Brave shield. Even when I brought a team that was like,
Yeah,
this is all Brave damage all the way, the HP shield still ended up being the thing to break first.
Well, I figure it's because, like, don't they have a threshold thing where they're taking, like, almost no damage? But anyways, I just remembered that's the pattern I noticed, so I just brought a Brave gain team and brute strength it. I think, you have Kane who doesn't lose his Brave, and you bring someone like Renault or Tifa who, like, Brave gains like fucking crazy, and then throw Beatrix in because you need tickets, and, I don't know, just one big burst FR was able to blow through the shitty shields, though, so it was like,
Yeah, no, I wonder if, like, making the shields a different color would have helped. Like, I felt like it was really hard to tell what the shields were at, because when you attack it, just a bunch of blue numbers on the screen.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm confused as shit because they're all blue, and like the number, it'll show the Brave when you're hitting Brave. It'll show like the Brave shield, but then when you dump HP, the Brave shield value just immediately changes to the HP shield value, and it's like, I don't know. It's not very. I don't know why to this day, after all those shield fights we've had, why is there not a thing where you click on the boss? Because if you click on the boss, it shows you all the stuff going on with it. Why is there not one of these down here? There's the force gauge effect, status effect. Down here, shield effects. Boss B has this much Brave shield and this much HP shield. I mean, that's almost inexcusable game design, in my opinion. You gotta have, a better way of keeping up with how much each shield has. So, I mean, look right now. It's just it's overwhelming with numbers.
I wanted to make fun of you, but you're right. Like, that's a pretty basic design thing nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't punish the player for, like, not having information, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the way to put it, but yeah.
I think we're gonna get through this and get my tickets. What time is it? Because when the Beatrix ticket mission actually ends tonight.
You've got 40 minutes.
Oh yeah, we'll be fine.
Oh yeah. Good timing.
Well, we kind of got to start moving on, don't we? Unless you guys have some more things about this, because Rydia and Firion, and then Iroha BT all back to back here.
Iroha BT, we have to talk about that, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys might talk me into pulling her, because I've got burst tokens and I've got like 1,000 tickets. So on OKFR, Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
So.
Oh my god.
After this event, what was the next event, and who all was on it?
So we had the Death Gaze fight. It was a raid or something. It was a Rydia fight, a mission dungeon. That's what it was. Story chapter mission dungeon. They did this thing where the 3 story chapter kind of things. So you fought the Death Gaze. This is a rerun. Well, it's not a rerun. It's the actual fight that they time traveled for Crevasse some months ago, and it feels easier this time. We'll talk about the fight after the characters, because the fight actually has something to talk about. So Firion got a rework. He got the standard 3 HP attacks on his stuff. He kind of, I think he sucks.
He sucks so bad, right, Blart? I mean, he's just so bad. Make sure this is the headline of the YouTube. Firion sucks. His rework is trash. And if I was describing to a new player a character to use, the last one I would do is Firion, because he's so fucking bad. Am I right?
The thing with Firion is, it's like, why would you use him unless you're using Maria FR, in which case, like, you know, you would do you guy. I'm sure everyone has a place to shine, I guess. But like, looking at him, like, what does he do that other characters don't do better? His damage, his on-turn damage is lower. His off-turn damage is lower. His healing is good, but has no mitigation, so it's worse than other healers that actually protect you. His BT effect is pretty poor. People are saying it's good, but like, you look at what max brave up, great. High brave, oh, wonderful. Brave regen, fantastic. Brave refund is actually pretty neat. We'll give him that. But it lasts for 6 turns, which is just these days, like, come on, man. For 6 turns, you want to be expecting something like Sid Reigns, where like he's doing 1 million damage on his turns or something like that. So yeah, if you're in, pretty weak. Rydia, pretty cool. Rydia's pretty cool. Because Rydia got. Mino, do you want to say anything about Firion before I move on? No. Cool. So Rydia got an FR. We all know that the ultimate weapon is pretty sad unless your name is Indolent Large. Shout out to Indo, who's in the chat. Rydia is, as a character, is pretty mediocre. She's had this identity for a long time as like the enchanter who does some damage and has some auras a little bit, and then Kuja started doing that. And Kuja also is not in the greatest place. So Rydia was kind of worse Kuja for a while, and then she got her FR or her LD, which gave her a new weird niche as an evasion enabler, which is kind of weird but cool, I guess. Having finally played FF4, I don't understand it because she actually doesn't get blink in that game. It's a white mage spell, and she doesn't get that. So game design, flavor, and game mechanic separation, I guess. But now her FR leans further into that evasion enabler thing, because it's a pretty neat FR. So we got the good numbers, we got the good stats, we got the 50% bonus when you hit weakness damage just passively from hitting weakness damage, which is awesome. And you get bonus from doing water, bonus FR from doing water damage. She's an enchanter, so much better than Beatrix situation. She won't enable it; she already does it. And then the key cool bit about it is it's plus 50% on evading an attack. This is the first on dodge FR we've gotten. I think it might be the only one for all I know. And when you use the FR, it applies 3 turns, well actually 5 turns, because one of her buffs extends her debuff. So 5 turns of a debuff that increases HP damage dealt, defense down, cool, whatever. You do more damage, and it's a blind, true blind, like Kimahri. And that's awesome because that means that between her LD and that, she has a lot of ways to enable her own FR, so you have a lot of flexibility with your team building. It's interesting because she has all these ways to help your characters dodge, but the FR is kind of saying use your dodge tanks with her, because you have kind of 2 ways you can play Rydia FR. You can just kind of use her on a generic team with like whoever you want, and just have the dodges be the thing that boosts your bonus, whatever. And it fits with everyone. It's kind of not very flashy. Or you can use it as a way to make like your Edge, your Gallop, your 8 shine, because the characters who like counter on dodges finally get a chance to really show like, hey, this is an FR designed for me, as opposed to like most often FRs where like, I don't know, not as big a deal. No, it's kind of cool. So, I mean, as a unit, still kind of like, what are you doing there? But her FR, I think, is pretty cool. Mino, I've been more along. What do you think about Rydia? Do you care?
You know what? You've brought up a lot of good points. I didn't really think about it too much, but I did realize that, like, oh, she's not as bad as I thought she would be. There's been like no buzz about her, but Evasion's been super clutch these last couple of fights that have been, no pushover. These fights have put up some fight, and so like bringing dodge to it's really nice. You brought up another great point. This is the only dodge FR we have, and people fucking love dodges with like Gallop, and I guess he's the only real viable dodger right now, I think.
8 and Edge are still doing work, although I think Gallop is kind of the best in class.
Edge, really? In modern fights? I don't know.
I used him in... was it Bunavelza, I think? I forget. I used him pretty recent. The Pandemonium fight, he was really handy there. He's the only magic dodge character, so,
Yeah. But, right, Gallop's still being used to this day, so that's a really good one, too. Right, no, I think Rydia's really good. She doesn't feel good to play, though. I think S1 is strictly worse than S2. Like, it feels really bad. There's no situation you ever want to press S1, I don't think.
You want that generic magic attack up.
Right. And in Rydia's defense, her After Years kit has some dodge in it, so maybe they're taking from that.
Okay.
I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt here.
Right.
But right, I think her FR is very novel, and the rest of the kit sucks. And I guess these days, all you really want is the FR effect. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm like, this is so sad. I'm like racking my brain for things to say about Rydia, and it's basically just like, oh yeah, the FR is pretty neat and interesting. That's it. That's like all I have to say. Nothing about her kit is really interesting, unless you think I'm wrong. Like, is there anything besides her FR that's like legitimately good to use now?
Well, so since we're out of elemental lockouts, her LD being true water weakness enchant might technically be a useful thing now.
Yeah, that's another great point. Yes.
It's kind of awkward because, like I said, like she's always throughout the history of DFFOO since she's come to game, they've consistently put her at the end of the era with this kind of very vague, like, oh, she enchants and does some damage, but not really enough damage to matter. And enchanting, a lot of people do that kind of thing. And she kept showing up late and kind of being at the end of the era when it never really mattered. So at the very least, I'm glad they had her show up at a time where it kind of was interesting. I think a big reason why she's not getting buzz is because Warrior of Light is coming out next month, in 2 months, very soon. And you could make the very, very, very diluted and not fully accurate argument that he's just a better version of Rydia, because similar idea of off-turn, boss turn FR, because for him it's have them attack a shield and you get plus 70, which is just a bigger number. So on paper it is just like a strictly better, but the nuance there is you don't get to use evasion with Warrior of Light. You have to get hit, which can open you up to things like debuffs or on hit effects, who knows, double taps. Whereas with Rydia, if you or you just can't use Gallif, for instance. Whereas with Rydia, you're able to use those characters. So it's different, although you could understand in pure numerical terms why one is considered better than the other. Nice Cyan baseball there. Awesome.
Kane is dead. Kane is dead here.
Goodbye, Kane. We'll miss you.
Yeah, Kane's dead. I think he can
tell.
Because he's got 15k Brave. I don't have any defensive up because her. Yeah, he's dead.
You have to believe.
Dead.
You have to believe.
No, I think that he's actually dead. I think I can still get my tickets even if he dies though. I haven't used a burst phase yet.
Tree Void's also clarifying, I think, that Rydia's on-turn damage is a little bit higher than Warrior of Light's. So
is it actually?
I haven't looked. I honestly only looked at the off-turn numbers because I assumed those were the only ones that mattered. But probably because of her water enchant, like water damage is probably something.
Well, like, there's not much to say about Rydia, but I've enjoyed the run so far, surprisingly. The party evasion is a rare niche nowadays because Edge isn't relevant anymore. I'll stand by that. Like, any fight you used Edge in, you're probably better off throwing Rydia in that one.
Not before not before this though. I just used Edge a lot in
That's fair.
But now you've got a point. Now there's no reason.
Right. Like it's like the next tuning pass for party evasion, which I think is good. Like, it's a rare enough niche. It's actually useful. And it's one of the few off-turn FRs we have at this point. I think Walls becomes an off-turn one as well, right? Another defensive one. But like, some people like to run evasion, man. Like, there are characters this is legitimately good for.
So here's actually, I had like a little discussion question I wanted to ask based on this, because the Death Gaze fight I found pretty boring because the gimmick is dodge the bosses and you win because it's selling evasion. And so how do you design a fight to showcase evasion as like the cool thing that you want without making it just a boring, okay, if you dodge, you win kind of
Yeah,
thing.
you know what sucks? I'm gonna be honest. You know what sucks? You do it with Lufania orbs. That's how you do it. You can bring call. I mean, I'm sorry. You can bring calls that do it, so that you don't have to. That's not the only way to do it in party. But looking back, I hated Lufania just like everybody else. But looking back as a game mechanic, that's how you do it. A Lufania orb. I mean,
Yeah, because
that's how you do it.
when I'm thinking back on it, yeah, the early on evasion, you didn't have 100% uptime on evasion wasn't really a thing, I guess, except for Galuf. Like it was, you had windows of evasion. I remember like Edge. I don't think he had 100% uptime on his dodge. Or he didn't have he didn't have 100% uptime on his lock, is what it was. His lock was like 1 turn or something like that. And so that's how you would make it. You had to time your dodges, and that's how you made dodge interesting. Now, characters can dodge all the time. So what do? And I think Raw is a good point with the orb.
Oh no, yeah, that's super easy. So what you do is you make one big regular attack. You can call it the force gauge attack. You make that unavailable, right? True strike, whatever. And then all the attacks leading up to that can add a stacking debuff, and then the more of that stack you have, the more damage the thing does. So if you have evasion and you're evading all the regular stuff, then it'll do an okay amount of damage, you'll survive it no problem. Without evasion, if you're blocking it with shields and stuff, you're still going to eat the debuff, and that thing's still going to chunk the shit out of you. So like blocking it with shields wouldn't be nearly as good as, evasion. Ah, shit.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing though. Like we've had fights where getting hit sucks, mostly because of debuffs. So like, for me, that's still just like a thing of like, I mean, I guess the kind of tension of the attack still hitting you and having to mitigate it somehow kind of adds to that, or helps that. Yeah, because so far, like, I feel like every time they've had like a use the evasion character fight, it's been like, okay, I've used the evasion character. Congratulations, we dodged everything and won.
I mean, some of these defensive gimmicks, if they can sell it, is just show how annoying things can be without them.
That's true. I guess my interest was less in selling evasion and more in making evasion engaging gameplay beyond just like kind of auto-winning the fights where it's usable. Man, it's a good thing we didn't put points onto this, huh? This would have been a good game. Oh my god.
Is he gonna wipe?
New
wipe?
New
this
point
was just
prediction.
It was just nasty. Just a horrible.
New point prediction. When will Charlotta's BT animation end?
Jesus, this was a fucking.
Jesus God.
We got those tickets though. I need those 10 tickets, and that was an hour-long fight to earn 10 tickets.
We did it.
Do we have any idea who's about to be on the banners? Because I would love to pull. I've got so much. Trevoid
Think,
says 30
sure.
tickets, but I don't have Log Pass.
My God. Sine Wave in the chat. Hello, Sine Wave.
Sine Wave in the chat.
Snake Plissken, I thought you were dead.
How you doing, Sine? I don't think I get 30 tickets though, because you're fucking kidding me.
Oh please.
Is that serious?
Well, I think that's the Well, I mean, go and let's see if it takes. That's just like the data update. I don't know if it'll count or not.
Come on.
I think those are earrings. Very cute.
Aren't they earrings?
What were you saying, Mina?
Wait, I said, did the update kick in and cancel his run?
Yes.
Oh, that's so fucking funny, dude.
Oh no.
It better fucking count, because I just did all that shit for 10 fucking tickets. Jesus Christ. It's like, I mean, we're doing the best we can for the game, and the game can't even help us.
Oh my God.
Please, God, help us out.
Oh God. Real-time live stream game update gameplay.
Is it gonna show us the banners now when we log in though? Like,
No, I don't think so. I hopped in. It's not the it's not like the. This is like that preload that they do before the actual event drops.
Well, what did the thing say on on the monthly stream.
What do you mean?
See it. Oh, how did they like? What did they talk about?
Like, how do we know that there's something happening tonight? What was the?
Co-op and some campaign banners.
So it won't have a Shinryu.
Well, it didn't confirm or deny it.
Maybe my spirit has been broken over the course of the evening. I don't think there's going to be a Shinryu now. I think I went into the show being like, okay, we're gonna have a Shinryu tonight, and I think I don't think we're gonna have a Shinryu tonight.
No, I don't think so either. To be honest with you, these fucking people, man.
You guys are the only ones deluded enough to keep running a talk show on this game.
Yeah,
If you guys
it's
give
rough.
up hope, nobody will have hope.
It's rough. We are the beacons.
Yeah, no, we're the ones.
Firion sucks. Aroha.
Oh yeah, Aroha
Let's
sucks
talk
too.
about
But that's
Aroha. What fight did Aroha come out with?
Odd.
Aroha came out with the COD 6 Warrior Quest, which we'll probably talk about over the next half hour. But we can cover COD 99 really fast because it shouldn't take too long.
We got our tickets, baby.
Hey, there we go. We should have done a poll to see if people thought you get those tickets. Dang. Sorry,
let's
guys.
Check real quick. Let's make sure I have all my Shinryus done. So you got ticket mission for Rydia, ticket mission for Onion Knight, Empyrean Chaos bullshit. I don't care about that. Here's a Chaos for the Act 2 finale I didn't do. Oh, there's a burst token for that. Holy shit, is that normal?
Yeah, it's replacing challenge quests.
I just always do it. I didn't know that's where it comes from. I'm gonna do that real quick. Act 3 finale part 2. What was with the weird, like, there was like a climax, like, event, and it came. Are we gonna talk about that? Because I am fucking fired up about it. Why the fuck is there 4 separate co-ops, Lufania co-ops, running at the same goddamn time? That is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. You cannot find people for any of the co-ops.
I realized why this situation didn't anger me as much as it seemed to be angering everyone else. It's because when I saw it, I said, never mind, and actually just went and didn't play the game for 3 days. And when I came back, everyone else had already done the work and like unlocked the fights with it. I didn't know that it was like a team up thing, but like you still can't get. I haven't done 2 of the Lufania co-ops because you can't find a friend to do it.
Oh yeah, I did really have trouble finding people to do it, but then again, I tried days after launch.
Well, it's because there's 4 of them. Why would you have 4 fucking? I mean, I'm glad that all you people went on and did it because I did not do it. Like Blart said, I got on and it was all done, but I still have to do the fucking things to. Is this like what is this shit, man? There was a climax, there was a chapter, there was a. Can we talk about all this shit?
It does feel like there was the finales. Sometimes I feel like always have some weird stuff going on because I know in the chapter 1 they had that interlude thing where they introduced Ketchi, and chapter 2 like there's the whole thing with Kefka and the weird swords and stuff. So they did like 3 finales here, parts 1 climax and part 2. I guess isn't the climax supposed to be when all the stuff happens? But that's the I don't know. Squex names things weird. I actually kind of liked what they did in the last thing with the like that boss rush kind of simulation where they brought back 4 of the most interesting Lufania fights that Luf Plus played.
That's Final Fantasy 3, right? Right?
What?
Is that not how the game ends? Have you played Final Fantasy 3 with
I haven't, but I assumed that Final Fantasy 3 doesn't end with you fighting Sephiroth, Emperor, Kefka.
Okay, so here's what it is. Here, I found the chaos. I'll let you finish, but basically, that's how the game ends. You get there, and then you're like, oh, can't get to COD. It's too hard to get. I don't remember, but you can't get to her. So let's go to the other 4 corners of the dungeon and fight big bosses. And then you do those 4 corner bosses, and then you can fight COD. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's pretty much how it went, right?
Do you mean to tell me that Square Enix and Team Ninja recycled the plot of a Final Fantasy game in the city of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia?
I think it's called paying homage.
They paid homage to a goddamn Final Fantasy game in my goddamn Final Fantasy crossover mobile game.
That's where it comes from. I believe that to be true.
Fuck this, we're quitting.
I'm gonna need some help because apparently I waited too long. Nobody's showing up as shiny.
You do it solo. Just do it solo.
Is this the
With who, though?
is this the right mission for it?
Yeah, this is chaos.
I just thought it was it this one or was it the other chaos mission from like one of the other chapter things?
You're fucking kidding me. This is chaos. Warrior with a mission. Chaos.
I thought that it was I thought they wanted you to do the you fight the X-Death bosses again. I thought that was the one that you do the boosted characters on.
You have to fight the angels again that kill you if you do anything. If you break them.
Yeah, and I was amazed that they actually kept that mechanic in that fight.
$11.25, Act 3 Finale, Part 2. Jesus Christ, it's not there. Act 3 Finale, Part 2.
This is what we're talking about. There are so many finales in here.
Can anyone in chat help me? Because there is no chaoses here. No chaos there.
Go down one of those stairs. Go down one of them stairs. Go down the stairs in the lower left. I have a good feeling about that one. I think
There's another chaos.
There it is. That's the one.
No, it's not. That's wings revealing doom.
What? Isn't that what? I hate this. This is engaging content. Also, my God, dude, what is the lag? Is extremely powerful.
The game is sucking the life out of me while I try to. I'm trying to give it my life energy, and it's like a parasitic relationship at this point. I'm giving it everything I can give, and it's giving me nothing back but pain.
Every week, I just see how much more can you guys take before you call it quits. Lids isn't streaming anymore. 40 doesn't stream this game anymore. Fucking Josepher doesn't. TCC's gone. Oh shit! Fuck! I accidentally hit something. You know, like this is an exercise in futility. Why are you guys still doing this?
At this point, it's bitterness. I don't want to let Team Ninja win.
I literally cannot find the chaos.
Okay,
So please help me find the fucking chaos.
Are we sure it's not that 1125 one? Because I thought that was the one you're supposed to do.
No, it's the name of it was wrong. It was wings.
Can we open the quest one more time? Double check it.
Here's one. It's called Wings Revealing Doom. That's not what it's called.
No, check.
It's called 1125. Wings Revealing Doom. The one that we're looking for.
Check the missions tab. Check the missions.
1125. Something else. Finale Climax Part 2.
This is finale climax part 2. That's where we are right now.
It doesn't say anything about Wings Revealing Chaos.
It's 1125. Yeah, no, that's it. This is finale part 2. You know what? I'll bet you money that this is, if you clear this, you'll get them burst tokens with the synergy, whatever.
So it's Onion Knight.
Iroha, apparently Afmao, gross.
Pain.
Rosa, ugh. Pain. Oh, there we go. Pain. Hey, yeah.
Hater. Dodge everything.
Yeah, dodge everything. That's old. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure evasion works with those doofuses. Just, don't. I don't know. The breaking thing still happens.
The game is just, I mean, it is suffering along.
Again.
Maybe
my
there's a lot
God.
of people logged on for the surprise shit real quick.
Yep,
Or-
logged on early, right? For no fucking reason, just sitting there, hitting loading screens.
Either that, or in addition to getting rid of the GL dev team, they've also gotten rid of like 3 of the servers.
I want real evidence. That's not a meme. I want real evidence that there's still devs on the GL side and not like one auto translator.
Honestly, same.
We'll see soon. Let's get through all this crap. Iridia, we talked about her. Firion. Iroha. Iroha got her BT. I have her FR, and I used her in like challenge runs and enjoyed her. But what is her BT? Why is this the least hyped BT release maybe of all time?
So, I don't think it's a. I think it's being shit on a little bit more than it needs to be, but but I also can't call it not bad without retracting what I said about Firion earlier, because it's a fine BT, but it's not a BT you're ever really going to want to use over other BTs. It gives you like the generic auras that you want, the good stuff, brave damage, HP damage, caps all around, 30% HP cap. Hey, that's what you want. And its special gimmick is it lasts 8 turns, which is actually a good amount of. It's a good length of time for a BT, especially for Iroha, who doesn't really move that fast. Its unique gimmick is it does HP poison, similar to like Xdeath or whatever, or Leo. Not exactly Leo. Sorry, the baby's asleep. Leo style, like 8 additional bonus damage. The amount of which increases every time Iroha takes a turn. So it's like she's like a stack. It basically builds stacks on her turns, which increases the amount of damage it deals. The augmented force for this is that kind of damage doesn't scale with force time. So it has this kind of double-edged sort of she's providing this bonus damage that doesn't really matter because non-force damage is kind of inconsequential. And it doesn't ramp up until 5/8 of the way through her BT effect. So people are memeing on it because like it takes forever to ramp up and but it also isn't giving you that much anyway. I'd say treat Iroha's BT as purely it gives you the BT auras you want. It's just some generic BT, decent BT auras. That said, at this point, like aside from her, aside from having probably to this day still like the best pure anyone can hit this condition generic FR in the game, why would you use this character? What does she do? What does she bring that necessitates you using this character? And the answer is, I don't know. You have a thing for Shrine Maidens?
For what?
Shrine Maidens. They're the Shrine Maiden, yes. So that's Iroha. Like any further comments? Any insights? I feel like the criticism is too harsh, but also she's not good enough to merit defending.
I like FF11, and I don't think she's a good character. Her niche is just not useful anymore. The Brave Retain used to be cool when we had like a lot of characters that had a lot of like multi-dump attacks that didn't constantly battery themselves like they do nowadays, but they do, so it's pretty fucking useless. The BT effect kind of sucks. I don't know. You just don't want to bring her. She doesn't do anything anymore. I still think the BT animation's very pretty though. I'm still hoping to pull it eventually for that alone. But yeah, I don't know. It's like a Sayador situation, right? Like I think the animations are cool, but I don't think the character's any good whatsoever.
I need to walk back my words because I'm realizing like I was going pure numbers there, but like. In order to, if I'm going to say, Iroha is like, she's like whatever, you'd have to invest like BT ingots in this character, into her FR, blue armor, the force pyramids. And in good conscience, no one should be putting any sort of resources into this character. I did, and I already
have her FR blued, and
I wish I didn't do that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I take it back. Probably worse than Firion, just because higher investment cost. And Firion sucks.
Actually, that's a fair point. I have a maxed out Iroha, BT missing, like blue armor, Ultima weapon stuff, and she still sucks. I would still not want to bring her over most other characters.
Yeah, like, it's a shame because I want to like the character. I think her animations are awesome. I think when she showed up, that Brave Retain was I thought that was a really interesting gimmick that could have a cool shelf life. But in practice, every character who's worth using nowadays refunds back to max Brave no matter what. So it's kind of useless.
It goes back to the Beatrix discussion where we're talking about like, her FR works off of lightning damage, but she doesn't lightning enchant, and it's kind of like, there's a divorce in design. Some of these characters are so self-sufficient, and others are so reliant on others. And you told Rob just build a better team, but like I understand that there's so many players out there who never have to learn legit team building because there's just so many characters out there that don't fucking need it. And so like it really is sad to say when you say, well, you can build around this character. That really is cope, because you never have to build around a Tifa or a Renoa or a Charlotta or anything. You don't have to build around these characters fucking at all, or Kane or any of the good characters.
Yeah, at this point, the only like when I look at characters now, the only thing I look for two things. One is like, is this one of those self-sufficient characters who can just carry someone for months on end, like a Renoa or a Tifa? And if not, do they offer an interesting and unique play pattern that can be a breath of fresh air that can make the game worth playing for another week? And like Rydia, I think Rydia does that.
Yeah, I agree. I think Rydia fulfills those conditions 100%.
Yeah, Iroha, Onion Knight.
Onion Knight, I'm gonna argue argue for Onion Knight. Did we even talk about Onion Knight?
Not yet. So it's a segue.
Okay, you introduce it, Ballard. You have a way more technical take on it.
All right. So Onion Knight. They gave him. He got a rework. It's the usual kind of numbers up. He does more to he. I think he's always been in a weird spot, similar to Rydia, where he feels this like kind of damage dealer, kind of supportish. He can ice enchant a little bit, kind of undefined niche. His like personality was his stances, the physical and magic stance, back when that mattered. And it's a nifty niche, I think. It's something. It makes him stand out. His numbers on his damage, not impressive, honestly, but that's to compensate for the fact that he has, he brings enchanting and he brings some auras, and his LD has a lot of some turn manipulation utility, so there's usefulness there. So that kind of justifies the lower damage to a degree. I think I still feel it's lower than I would want to see on him, but
is his damage that low? Like, what are we talking about on the higher ceiling things?
Okay, so for me, I want to say his base skills are 3 dumps, possibly 4. I think one might be 3 with splash, and one might be 4. I have to double check. His EX is 4 times executed twice, or 4 AoE full damage. So functionally 8 HP attacks, single target, or 4, AoE one way or the other, which is fine because his EX is usually pretty fast. For me, like characters like Renoa and Jack Garland have kind of warped my perception of like what good damage is nowadays, and so 8 HP attacks for me is what I want a damage dealer to be doing, but he does it like pretty much only on his EX. I could be being too harsh here, because if you're charging it every other turn, it actually probably adds up pretty decently. I don't think he has refunds, which is a shame. He might, but I think he's just brave damage focused. So anyway, to finish kind of the overview, his BT got the first BT rework that we've seen, which is pretty nifty. It got just some slight aura boosts. It's an aura BT. It's not like a special functional, special HP attack at BT or something weird. It's just numbers. And so they gave him some improved numbers, including the long-awaited HP damage cap boost, which is what he needs. And he got an FR, which it's an FR. Its gimmicks are dealing ice damage more so when he's the one doing it, one of those kind of pseudo-selfish FRs, and acting after an ally, so kind of consecutive turns without letting bosses take turns. I find the numbers a little bit unimpressive. Oh, right. Tree Void reminds me. His BT also enchants ice now, which is funny because his FR also enchants ice, and so does his AA, so he is now a triple ice enchanter, which is kind of funny. Really solves the ice enchantment issue for him. He thoroughly covers your ice enchantment needs. Very cool. Ha, ha, ha. So the FR doesn't have the passive HP damage. Oh, right. The FR doesn't have the passive HP damage boost that other FRs are getting, like Rydia, for instance, is getting that, or Beatrix have the passive like HP and HP damage cap boosts just from like hitting certain effects. He doesn't. The only passive effect he brings is more ice enchant because he needed more of it. So the numbers come out it's like 60 on ally turns, 80 on his, which are fine. They're competitive. It's just without that additional passive boost, I'm like, I don't know if Anyway, I'm not sold on him, but I don't want to rag on him just yet because I spent a lot of time ragging on Roja just now. Mino convinced me that Onion Knight is better than I'm giving him credit for.
I won't say he's good, but if you're talking about the whole like, is this character interesting enough for me to play another week? I really like, because if you run the synergy characters, they have this really cool effect. I don't think it's actually practical in high level play because all of the synergy characters were like outdated as fuck. But for example, like I think he's paired with Aphmau and Iroha. I guess it doesn't really need to be Iroha, but like with Aphmau, because you know how his FR works, right? It's like the big fat bonus if there was an ally before your turn.
Yeah.
So if Aphmau is linked to him, and then he uses his LD to bring up the rest of the party and puts Aphmau last, they can do a huge chain of consecutive turns and max out that FR, which is pretty neat. I don't know if that's actually... No, actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say that's not practical, but it was... I understood what they were going for.
Yeah, the turn shuffling, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing, but I don't know. I was just using it, and I was thinking, oh, I guess there's not that many other characters that really turn manipulate as hard as Onion Knight can. There's the Ice Enchant, that's way more consistent now. But then, you know, like, I guess his damage isn't great. The EX is like 4 dumps, I think. It's a single target.
Executes twice, though. So EX puts that to 8.
4 dumps times 2?
For single target, in like Ninja Plants.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because I was trying to think of other turn manipulators, and Ash, who's getting a BT soon, also does turn manipulations. Same amount as slightly more than Onion Knight, actually, I think, because she has 1 extra use for the turn manipulate. Ignis on his EX, and then I was like, oh, and Sid Reigns. Sid Reigns also does the turn manipulation if you want to use Onion Knight's FR with Sid Reigns on your team instead of using Sid Reigns.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that probably wouldn't be a complete troll team. Onion Knight and Reigns on the same team, because his FR can get pretty good if you manipulate around it. I don't super hate it.
Okay.
Because I think it's ice damage is 20, and then taking the turn is what, 40 to 50? I don't know. It adds up.
It's 20 on it's 20 plus 40 on the warp. So it's ice damage 20, warp 40. It's a 30%. An additional 10% of Onion Knight's the one who does the ice damage. So it's like 60 a turn, which is actually pretty good for like... That's what you kind of want to see for like a... for like kind of a non-off turn, non-like BT.
Right. So like, for example, with the COD fight, I'm sure a lot of people either killed it in 1 FR or 2 by super min-maxing and following a guide. But this is the first fight that, with no research whatsoever, I was like, oh, it really makes sense to pop multiple FRs in this one, right? Like, I think I did 4. I think some people did 5. Some people did 3. Like, this is a fight where you do multiple FRs. So, besides your, like, main driving FR, which is usually, like, 2 shots and you're done, the question was really, like, what other FRs are good generically just to get a, 400 to 500 pretty casually? I would say is a good mark. Beatrix was not that for me unless you Thunder Enchant the party, of course. Is it Thunder or Lightning Enchant? Do they ever say in game? Because Thunder doesn't make any sense to me.
I call it Thunder Enchant because Lightning is a character and I want to just avoid it.
That's pretty fair. That's a fair call. But sorry, I'm saying generically 500 is a good goal, I'd say. Beatrix is one you'd probably have to build around. Would you disagree with that to get to 500?
I think so. Well, Beatrix is, yes. I mean, if you do something goofy with, like, I don't know, like you put Young and Ace as the other 2 and like a Thunder Call, like you could probably get it higher. But I'd say, yeah, like 400 to 500.
Yeah, because I'm saying, like, there's characters like Celeste could fulfill that easily on her own. Doesn't fucking matter who her teammates are. Onion Knight feels like one of those characters. Like, if we want to talk about generically good FRs, by the way, I don't think Iroha can hit that 500 casually, but Onion Knight can.
Yeah, well, that's actually as far as like numbers go, Iraha, her FR kind of predated when.
Yeah.
I think once Lude showed up, I think he was the first FR where, on a consistent basis, you could expect every turn to be getting plus 60, and that's been kind of the benchmark now. Is pretty much every FR you kind of want to be seeing, plus 60, unless it's like a weird off-turn FR, of course. You want to be seeing plus 60 and then like plus 80 on the actual character's turn for like stuff like Reigns or Anacro or whatever. So, in that sense, like for Onion Knight, like his numbers, they're fine. For me, it's more like, and actually, you do bring a good point because the play pattern, it does create an interesting play pattern, the turn warping thing, or I guess if you want to do delays or something. For me, it was just like the numbers. I guess I was just looking. It's like it doesn't wow me compared to.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
other
fair.
stuff, but honestly, it's serviceable. It just comes down to like that. Like, do I want to invest in all these like kind of the pyramids and the FR high power stones and all that stuff into Onion Knight? And I think that turn warpy kind of jiggery pokery is pretty fun, and I haven't done it in a while. So there's something to. I think you're right about the play. It does create its own play style. I'm not sure if the power is there, but the interest is greater than I thought it was.
I think I would take OK over Iraha.
I think I agree with you there. He definitely has more personality to his character, or his kid has more personality, so to speak.
Yeah, Iraha's kid is sadly very fucking boring right now.
Yeah, it really feels like they meant for that Brave Retain to be like a much more impactful and meaningful mechanic, but then they just were like, what if we give everyone refunds? And then
I hate to break in here, but breaking news. It does appear that we were blessed with a Shinryus.
what in tarnation?
Let's go. Breaking news. Broken here on the live stream. We got a Shinryus. 25 Providence cores, 15k enhancements, 24 for fragments.
Give me those cores.
I need those cores bad.
That's pretty awesome. That's cool. Yeah, no.
Dang, this isn't even a chance at Iraha's BT. He's just old BT. Charlotta and Camelot is one, and Kane and Luna Frey is another.
Yeah, those are the ones
everything.
to be. Free pulls at least, so hey, maybe you'll get some BT tokens out of it or something goofy.
Oh, actually, I don't have Luna Frey as BT. I use her as
Yeah, hey, this is a great opportunity for people to pick up Luna Freya if they don't have her.
Is there nobody like with these guys, or is that's everything?
That's everything.
Well, I mean, hey, new fight is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Happy New Year's, guys. I'm sure this was supposed to be celebrating the New Year's campaign. Happy New Year's for, here's some old ass characters.
Happy New Year. Yeah, no,
A lot of these are still relevant. I think Cam's the only one that's not relevant.
Yeah. God, I regret pulling for that character. Anyway,
Really?
I never used him because
That's fair.
I just these days I very rarely use like the OP meta pick at the time because I like kind of playing around with the mechanics, and so I'll cycle back to them like after the new hotness has shown up. But like by the time Camelot kind of stopped being in the vogue, I had already found new toys to play with.
I guess
So
these banners for chat's kind of talking about it for the proverbial new player, the rumored new player would really.
There's no more new players. You guys
That's why I said
might as well.
proverbial.
It's like if you guys were playing FF11 and you're like, well, this is good for the new players. No fucking new players jumping on FF11. That game is 15 years old. Everyone in this fucking chat has never played it and say they never plan on playing it. Nobody jumps onto old obsolete games. Stop imagining new players. All right, we had like one supposed new player. What was her name? Gia Lisa or something, and she wasn't even real. She wasn't even a real new player. Like, there's no such thing as a new player. You find me somebody who started a week or two ago, who's fucking on this Reddit or looking up this research or doing anything, who cares this much about catch-up banners. Because I'll fucking tell you right now, if I install a new gacha like Fire Emblem Heroes, I'm not gonna be like, is this banner good for a new player? Get the fuck out of here. These aren't real people. You guys don't know any new players. None of you can point to a real new player. Stop fucking saying that shit.
I will say, roughly once a week or so, I'll poke into various Discords, and someone will ask a question, and I'll be like, oh, they must be new based on the question they're asking. I'll look and they'll be like, oh, they've been playing it for at least a year.
Yeah,
And then,
exactly. They're
yeah.
just stupid.
No, that's kind of sad but true.
Free loot of FR already have her FR, but I'm gonna throw 50 tickets for the new players out there. That's not a good idea, but I'm not doing it because I'm bored with the game.
It also makes me fucking laugh because telling them to pull like Kane, who's like what 7 months old now, 8. He's not a bad character, but if it was a real new player, I'd say pull whoever the fuck is coming up next. Like who's a real actual current ass fucking BT character?
Ash BT.
Yes, to an Ash
Sure, why not?
You said like a new player like within the last week or two. I would say show me a new player from the last month or 3. I mean, shit. Show me a new player who started in the last 3 months, and I'll be surprised, shocked even.
Yeah, are you guys looking at the numbers this game does on a monthly basis? I'm pretty sure we're losing more players than I'm not even sure we're gaining players, to be honest. But
yeah, no, the numbers have been pretty startling, honestly.
It shouldn't be. This game is dying. There's no ifs and or buts about it. Like, even if you don't think it'll end soon, it doesn't mean it's not dying. Like, it's like World of Warcraft, right? Like, World of Warcraft is a dying game. It still does numbers. It does huge numbers, but every year the number gets lower, never higher. Yeah. So, like, dying game doesn't mean this shit is dead and irrelevant right now. I don't know. I know this is a lot of your first video game ever or some shit like that, and you don't understand the concept, but it's not going. It peaked past the hill. I get what it is. A lot of the player base are like weebs who still watch anime, and they don't understand what over the hill means yet, right? Like, they're still in everyone's in high school with unlimited growth potential now, even though these guys are like in their 30s, and they don't understand that. Look, when you get older, and Blart knows this very well, we used to have conversations about this. You got to age gracefully. You have to understand your new limitations and how to work around them, and not pretend you're a fucking Peter Pan and, like, you never have to fucking adjust your strategies and you can just bash your head against everything, it'll work out.
It's you mentioned that.
Huh?
I'm glad you mentioned the 30 thing, because I was thinking, the reason I said startling was the most recent numbers I saw were much lower than the last ones I had in my head from the last time I had seen them. And so I knew that they were on the downtrend, but I didn't realize it was a much steeper drop-off than I expected. And so I was surprised by them. And then I was like, oh, it's just like when I turned 30 and suddenly like my knees didn't work the way they used to.
Yeah, I was just bitching about getting old with my friends yesterday. I was like, oh man, I can't eat spicy food as much as I could before, right? Like, and my stomach starts getting upset, and then they're like, oh, I can't drink dairy like I used to. Like, apparently lactose intolerance kicks in as you age, or like, you develop new allergies, or like if I move my meal around too much, it'll fuck up your fucking digest. Like, things happen. And this game is on the decline, all right? After you hit 30, remember in medieval times, the average life expectancy was 35 years old. Like, this is the downtrend, guys. We're fighting rot at this point. We're living like, 60, 70 years longer than we should, and it's all downhill from there because you peak in your 20s, and you're like stemming the bleeding as you go. And so, like, that's the game right now. It peaked a year or two ago. It's not getting better. There's no new character that's magically going to get everyone to reinstall, all right? Riku might as well never fucking show up. Even if she does, it's not going to save the game. Or Red 13. Like, it's on the decline. All these content creators that left, they're not going to magically come back. They're done. That's it, right? Like, it's time to move on with your life.
Once you get to a certain age, you don't stop experiencing joy in life. You just have to find it in different places, and maybe
that's so good. That's so well put, Blart. Find it.
You get socks for Christmas when you're older, and it's not as exciting as when you're a kid. But you're like, okay, well, socks are now what I'm into.
Yeah, it's like fetishes, right? Like the older you get and the more desensitized you get to vanilla sex, you need the crazier and crazier shit. Or like food, right? Like if you're a foodie, you need to eat some really bizarre shit to maintain your fucking interest, like that fucking critic from Ratatouille. But the whole point is, like, that's why you don't trust people with vanilla ass taste, right? Because they haven't been around the block. They haven't lived their life if they're still like, you know, like if ketchup is still their favorite condiment, or, you know, McDonald's is still their number one place to eat. Like, don't trust these people. They never experienced any life. But right, like DFFOO was your jumping off point. Now you got to get into some really weird ass shit if you want to maintain that feeling of first love or something.
Yeah, it's either that or you have to do the thing. Like you have to get just. If you're gonna stick in DFFOO at this point, enjoy yourself. You're gonna have to the metaphorical equivalent of like joining a bridge club or something. Like find the old people joy in as a DFFOO player. The old DFFOO player joy. Whatever that ends up being, I don't know. Should you pull videos? Probably not. Okay. Speaking, actually, it's funny you mentioned the spicy food. Raw has been frantically messaging me because he's. I think his stomach's about to explode or something. He's.
I am in dire, severe gastrointestinal distress.
We're very old, all of us.
Yeah,
This is.
we were talking about age. I just wanted to say I can't sleep. I hurt myself when I'm sleeping now. I'll wake up every day. And Mino keeps talking about your body decaying. Every day I wake up, and I don't take too good care of myself. I eat like shit, I drink like shit, and I lift heavy weights and don't do any cardio. Every day I wake up is worse than the day before. I don't think that I will ever wake up again and feel good. That's just the nature of life. It hurts to be alive at this point.
People talk about wanting to live till they're 100, but your like bones start going out when you're like 60. And then you get like there's nothing you can do, and you're just in pain all the time. If you guys talk to your dentist, they say most humans, on average, start losing their teeth around like 60. You know, like you're not gonna be 80 with all your fucking teeth. You're gonna have like dentures and shit. You know, like your body just isn't meant to last that long. You guys gotta like, what is it? What's the saying? You lean into the skid.
Yeah,
like
yeah. Lean into the skid. Enjoy life at the pace that you can live it, because you know you're old now. The game is old now. It's not moving as fast as it once was. You take it easy, find the joy you can, and you age peacefully off into the sunset with those atrocious JP sales.
This has been your existentialism on Monday nights with the live stream.
If you feel like you still have life to live, it's too late. You should have done it earlier. Like you want to travel when you're retired, you'll probably be dead, but you should have done it when you were young, guys. You guys fucked up.
This is why we call it the live stream. Good life advice. On that note.
Wait, one more thing. Raw, I've been transitioning to softer mattresses as I age, so that's something you might want to look at.
Could that possibly help?
Yeah, because like if you're still heavy, like your bones and muscles can't support your ass anymore. You need a soft ass mattress.
Becca has been begging me to look at the Casper and the purple and stuff, and I'm like,
don't make the same mistake I did. Casper is rated 8 out of 10 hardness, and 10 is like concrete.
I can agree with that. Mino and I have talked about this. We both got Caspers and both regretted it. Too hard. Don't get it.
You need to go into a mattress store and do the sleep test. That's actually accurate and will help. But also, like, there's like a generic chart that I had to discover what I was on. Like, your mattress firmness depends on how you sleep. Like, if you're a side sleeper, a stomach sleeper, a back sleeper, and also like how much you weigh, etc.
I sleep in every direction except on my stomach. People say that they sleep on their stomach with their face down, and it is the most inhuman thing I've ever heard. I don't know if anybody in chat or voice chat.
They're like smothering themselves.
Yes, you're smothering yourself under your own body. It's disgusting. Does anyone in chat sleep face down? Because that's disgusting.
You're inhuman if you fucking sleep face down, all right? Like, imagine having a spine, a skeletal system that's supposed to support you, and instead you use it to crush your organs. Like,
You're crushing yourself. You're crushing yourself from the top down instead of using it to support your organs and shit. It's not how God intended.
But
Imagine getting life that wrong, right? Like,
when we said lean into the skid, we didn't mean that hard. Oh god.
Anybody got any closing thoughts before I fucking go and exercise a fucking demon from my intestines?
Yeah, honestly, I'm looking forward to Anniversary, not because I think it'll save the game, but because I think it'll give us something that we're not expecting, and that alone will be my pair of socks that I got for Christmas.
I am too. I really am looking forward to Anniversary because it is exactly as Mino stated. We are in the twilight years, and in your twilight years, you're not supposed to suffer and work at Walmart when you're not 80, 74. You're supposed to enjoy it and every little thing, like your family that have moved away to California. They're coming back to visit you, and you look forward to that, and you build your whole year around that. That's where I'm at with the game. Give me something. Give me any kind of global first. I don't care. Just throw me a bone here.
these are good analogies, man. I'm really glad we we fell into this. It's much more interesting discussion than whatever the fuck we were talking about. The characters or the fights.
Oh god, yeah, no. This was good. I'm sad that Raw's Guts betraying us at this time because just when it's getting good. But I mean, honestly, you know what? You could say that's life sometimes.
My closing thoughts is that I'm here to see. The only reason I'm still here is to see who lasts longer, Lifestream or Sine Wave.
Sine Wave already quit.
Did he quit? He's here right now.
He quit the actual game, so he doesn't count. We definitely need him.
He didn't quit the DFFOO community. I'm not sure he can. I think he rejoined like 5 of the. He quit like every server and rejoined like 5 of them.
Sine Wave, are you gonna Redbeard and do a reroll? You should reroll. What a great time to get into the game.
Yeah, he's still making content. He hasn't quit shit.
Indo says he still likes making content. Well, hey, time to reroll. Pull a Redbeard. Not Redbeard. Who am I thinking of?
Red Cane, other red. In that case, it sounds like perfect motivation. Then, yeah, okay, we're gonna, we're here for as long as Soundwave is at the very least. It's gonna be a competition.
Have you ever seen the Titanic? I've used this a couple times now, but the dudes who are playing the fucking violin as the boat goes down. Look, there's nowhere to go. This is it. We're going down. As the ship goes down, we will be here playing beautiful classical music for you to die to, essentially. So.
Well, on that note, thank you all for joining us. This has been a much better stream than I thought, given the content we were coping with. But cool. We'll see you next week.
Do we have anniversary information at that time?
They said.
Monday?
Is it? Yeah, is it 23rd?
Yeah. So we will. So our next show, we will actually absolutely have. We will know whether the game has forsaken us completely, or if they've given us a visit from our children from California to look forward to.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Well, everyone, you stay well, be safe, high fiber diet, and stay hydrated. That was an old people joke. Adios.
My toolbar is blocking the end stream button, so I can't end the stream. So
No.
I'll just leave it on until next week.
Oh god.